Hi guys, welcome back to Math with OG. In this video, we'll be looking at compound interest, and that will be the last thing we'll be looking at under topics related to percentages. Compound interest, simple interest, what's the difference? Remember in our previous video, I told you that in simple interest, your principal remains constant and your rate remains constant. However, in compound interest, your rate is still constant, but your principal is no longer constant. That means your principal changes based on when an interest is added to your money. So if it is done annually, your principal changes annually. If it is done monthly, your principal changes monthly. So let me give you a typical example. You put your money in the bank, let's say 100,000 naira. 100,000 naira, and your interest rate is 10%. If your interest rate is 10%, it means that at the end of the first year, you are going to make an additional 10% of 100,000 naira. So that will be your interest at the end of the first year. If we are solving for simple interest, you are still going to use the principal of 100,000 to get your interest at the end of the second year, which will give you exactly the same amount. So for simple interest, your interest every year is constant because your principal is constant. However, in compound interest, after getting the interest for the first year, you add it up to your principal, which will give you the amount. That amount will act as the principal for the new year. So this is what I mean. I have 100,000 in my bank account. This is what I have in my bank account. Then my interest rate is 10%. At the end of the first year, my interest will be 10% of 100,000. So by now, I believe we all know that this will give us 10,000 naira. That is 10 over 100 multiplied by 100,000. So my amount at the end of the first year is simply 100,000 plus 10,000 naira, and this will give us 110,000 naira. So this amount at the end of the first year will act as a principal for the beginning in the beginning of the next year. So for my second year, if I'm to look for my interest for the second year, I will no longer work with 100,000 as my principal. I will now work with 110,000 as my principal. 110,000, sorry, 10% of 110,000. So if I do my math correctly, this will give us 11,000 naira. So my interest at the end of the second year is equal to 11,000. So I guess you've seen the difference. If we are working for simple interest, at the end of the first year, my interest will be 10,000. At the end of the second year, my interest will still be 10,000 because this will remain 100,000. At the end of the 20th year, your interest will still be 10,000. So you can easily calculate your total interest by using principal times rate times time all over 100. However, in this case, your interest is changing. So since my interest is changing, at the end of the second year, my interest became 11,000 naira. So if my interest is 11,000 naira, what will be my amount at the end of the second year? Is simply equal to 110,000 plus 11,000 naira. And I believe that this should give us 121,000 naira. 121, excuse me, 121,000 naira. Now this amount will act as the principal for the third year. This amount will act as the principal for the third year. So for the third year, my interest will be equal to the same 10% of 121,000 naira. Now if we do our math correctly, this will give us 12,100. So this will give us 12,100 naira. So you can see that the interest is increasing. So my amount at the end of the third year, this is my amount at the end of the first year, my amount at the end of the second year, my amount at the end of the third year will be equal to 12,100 plus 121,000. So 12,100 plus 121,000. So I'll put 12,100. So this is 001. Then you have your 1 plus 2, and that will give us 3. And also you have your 2 plus 1, that will give us 3. we still have a 1 here, so that is 133,100. 133,100. So you can see that this is the amount at the end of the third year, which will act as the principal for the in the beginning of the fourth year. So if you are to take your money after the third year, you are going to take 133,100. If you are to take your money after the first year, you are going to take 110,000. If you are to take your money at the end of the second year, you are going to take 121,000. So since the principal is changing, it means that the interest is changing. That means the formula derived for compound interest is no longer a function of interest, however, it's now a function of amount. So you can see that you have an exponential here to show that there's an increment in the interest. So let's not go into details about the formula. Just note that the formula for amount is equal to principal multiplied by 1 plus R% raised to the power of n, where n is your number of years, or let's just say where n is your time, because your time can be monthly, it can be daily, it can be weekly, as the case may be, but most cases it's usually number of years. So first thing first, we always solve for our amount when solving compound interest. But if you are asked to find the compound interest itself, you can now use compound interest is equal to amount minus principal. This is coming from the fact that amount is equal to interest plus principal, which we have all done before. So if amount is interest plus principal, it means interest is amount minus principal. So you get amount, then you get your interest, as easy as that. Now let's use that idea to play with these two questions. Let's use that idea to play with these two questions. The first question here, find to the nearest naira the amount of 100 naira invested at 4% per annum compound interest after 20 years. So I'm investing 100 naira at 4% per annum for a period of 20 years. I'm using compound interest, not simple interest. So what amount will I take after 20 years? What amount will I take home after 20 years? So as you can see, it will make no sense if we are finding the interest for each year like we did here, because this is 20 years. So it's better you work with the formula when the number of years is actually long. So I can write here my amount is equal to principal into 1 plus R% raised to the power of n. So the amount which I'm looking for is equal to my principal here is 100 naira. This is 1 plus R% is 4%, so I can put 4% here, and my time is 20 years. So my A is equal to 100 into 1 plus 4 over 100 raised to the power of 20. My A is equal to 100 into 104 over 100. That is, if I do 1 plus 4 over 100, it should give us 104 over 100 raised to the power of 20. So my A is equal to 100 into 1.04. That's 104 over 100, or you can do this one first, which is 0.04 plus 1 to give you 1.04 raised to the power of 20. So I'm not with my calculator here, so you can do that on your own. 1.04 raised to the power of 20. After getting the answer, you multiply by 100. Remember, we agreed that in board maths, your order comes first before multiplication. So if you do that, which I've done before starting this video, that will give us 219 naira. So the amount here will give us 219 naira. So that will be the amount after 20 years, 219 naira. Now let's solve the next question here. The next question here, find the compound interest on 200 naira in 3 years at 4% per annum. At 4% per annum. So what we are to do here is to find the compound interest, not the amount. We have to find the compound interest, not the amount. So let's do that together. So first of all, we have to find the amount before finding the compound interest. My principal here is 200 naira. Okay, you have your 1 plus my rate here is still 4%, so we have 4%, and my time here is 3. So my amount here will give us 200 into 1.04. We've done that already. raised to the power of 3. So my amount here will give us 225 naira. 225 naira. So this is the amount, 225 naira. But we are not looking for the amount, we are looking for the interest. So my interest in this case will be equal to 225 naira minus the principal, which is 200 naira, and this will give us 25 naira. So that's the answer to the question. Question number one, the amount is 219 naira. This is the approximated value to the nearest naira. This is also the approximated value to the nearest naira. 225 minus 200 will give us 25 naira. So that's how you solve questions under compound interest. So I believe that we've learned a lot under percentages. We did the introduction of percentage, then we learned how to convert from percentage to decimal, from percentage to fraction, and vice versa. Then we also did percentage increase and decrease. Then we did profit and loss. That's percentage profit and loss. I think we also did discount, we did simple interest, and now we've done compound interest. Lest I forget, we did percentage error. So I believe if you've watched all the videos, there will be no question under percentage that should give you problem. In our next video, we'll start a new topic entirely. Thanks for watching. Kindly use the like button if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe and also share. And if you have any problem with the calculation, you can leave that in the comments section. So thanks for watching once more, and see you guys in my next video.